Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. I am quite excited about today's video because we are diving into a new brand and a new formula to me, and that brand is Lunar Beauty. It's by Manny, MUA, who is also here on YouTube. I'm sure you have heard of him before. Now you might be thinking, Lunar Beauty, wait Leila, you did a video on Lunar Beauty a couple months ago, right? And yes, you are correct. I had ordered a mystery box from Lunar Beauty. I think that was back in February, and did receive a palette in that mystery box. However, I haven't had the chance to touch it or use it on the eyes, to be honest. So in essence, this experience with this collection that we're talking about today is going to be my first impressions and first exposure to the formula and the brand. And the collection and specific products we're talking about today from Lunar Beauty is their Nude Prism Collection that launched, I want to say earlier this month of May or end of April. Don't quote me, I'm not sure. And they launched with 3 products. They launched with an eyeshadow palette, a blush palette, and lip oils. And I have these two guys with me. So starting off with the eyeshadow palette. So here we have the packaging. It is the stunning pink apricot-y shade. You have a raised kind of holographic moon with these gold foil detailed. It's really, really pretty. I love it. This is an 18 shade color palette. It is $48. And on the inside, it does come with a mirror, and we have the shades right here. We have 2 rows of full matte shades and 1 row of shimmery metallic shades. I am going to be demoing this for you guys later on in this video. I have it on right now on my eyes, so stay tuned for that portion of the video. I think I mentioned already, we have this ginormous mirror as well. I'm gonna go ahead and insert some swatches of the shades. I'm not really good at swatches, guys, so don't judge too harshly by the swatches. Starting off with the first row. On the first row, we have the shade Bear, Cherry Blossom, I Am Shy, Vibes, Apricot, and Sakura. The second row is the row of the metallic shimmer shades, starting off with So Icy, You're Golden, Laura, Sam, Expose, and Star Crossed. And the last row, we're getting into kind of the deeper nude tones. We have Milk Tea, Tease, Classic, Bloom for You, Moody, and Deeper. And those are all 18 shades in this stunning palette. The next item from the collection that I picked up is their blush palette, and this is their Nude Prism blush palette. It comes with 6 shades, and this retails for $35. Let's go ahead and open it. It also comes with a decent sized mirror, and here are the 6 shades. It's kind of divided up, it looks like to me it's divided up into 3 categories, your light, medium, and deep, which I think is great. All of the shades look matte except this one right here. Zay seems to have a bit of a sheen to it. I actually do really love this color. It's more of a nudie, maybe bronze tone, and I like to use this on like makeup no makeup days so it doesn't look like too flushed in the cheeks. I'm going to go ahead and insert some swatches as well, starting off with the top row. Peachy, Pink Prince, Kawaii, I think that's how you pronounce it, and second row, Zay, Beauty, and lastly, Blaze. So all really stunning shades. When I purchased the collection, I believe I was able to get both of them in a bundle. I don't remember the price on the bundle, and I'm not 100% sure if the bundle's still available. If you're interested, keep an eye out for that. Like I said, the eyeshadow palette retails for $48 for 18 shades, and the blush palette for 6 shades retails for $35. Lunar Beauty does have another blush palette out. I think it's just called the Moon Prism palette, and although it is pretty, it really didn't grab my attention the way this one did. So I'm glad I held off on purchasing that blush palette at the time. So let's go ahead and get into the demo portion so you guys can see how I applied these products to my face, and we'll come back at the end of the video with my final thoughts. Let's get into the Nude Prism Eyeshadow Palette from Lunar Beauty first. As you can see, look at all these gorgeous nude toned flesh tone colors. This row of shimmers is gorgeous. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do in terms of an eye look today. Oh, actually, Rose from Rose and Ben on Instagram did a really beautiful halo eye look yesterday that I think I might want to recreate. Let's hope I can remember kind of the colors that she used off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to come up with something similar from using this palette. I did go ahead and do my base makeup already. I'm actually filming a second video at the same time that I'm doing this video for Lunar Beauty. This will still work as a good test to see if there's any fallout from these shades. So to start off as a base, I am going to use this from Gerard Cosmetics. I believe this is the Clean Canvas, and I think mine is in the shade Fair. The sticker on the bottom where the name has since faded, but we're gonna go ahead and use that. And right now on my eyelid, I don't have anything on. I did take some of my concealer up to this portion, so I'm just gonna use this on my eyelid. I think the amount that I picked up on the brush is gonna be enough or more than enough for both eyes. And the reason why I'm gonna use this eyeshadow base is because sometimes when I'm using these types of shadows or these colors or tones, because I have an olive yellowy undertone, I feel like those lighter shades don't really translate 100% like the color in the pan on my skin tone. And so using a base like this that's lighter can help the true color of the shadow come through, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. You can use whatever eyeshadow base you have or go in with just a regular eyeshadow primer. The other eyeshadow primer that I really like is the OG Urban Decay Primer Potion. You do want to make sure if you're using this Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas that when you're closing it, you seal it really tight just so it doesn't dry out. Okay, so I went ahead and I took it up just a little bit, almost to my brow bone, pretty much just whatever was on the brush. I think I am gonna dip into this shade right here called Apricot. This shade right here called Apricot. And I'm using a Rose and Ben brush. This is one of my favorites. This is the E28. And I'm gonna pick up some on the side of the brush. You can see how much. And I'm gonna start off by pressing it in this outer area of my eye. So goal is we're going for a halo eye. So wow, look how pretty that color is, and it's pigmented. So I'm just gonna press, trying to not go too crazy because I have my base already done. It's not gonna be as easy to clean it up. So I'm literally picking up the shadow on the tip of the brush. You can see that, or at least I hope you can. And concentrating it this outer third area of my eye and into the crease. And if you have kind of hooded eyes like me, what I like to do is when I've deposited that color, I actually take the brush right into my crease and press it, and when I do that, it'll take some of the shadow and deposit it right above the crease, so it kind of makes its own transition, and that way I don't have to keep layering it up. And then once it's there, just without adding anything onto the brush, we're just gonna tap over it. Another technique I learned from Rose and Ben. If you're not following her on Instagram, where have you been? Go follow her. She's amazing. She has so many great makeup tips, and her recommendations are spot on for me most of the time. That's a really pretty pinky apricot shade. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take some more on that same brush. Again, just picking up some shadow on that, on the side, and I'm gonna go in on the inner corner. I'm gonna make sure to tap out my base just in case it's creasing. With this type of base, it will crease because it's more of a wet formula. And we're just gonna tap it in. So I went ahead and did the other eye, same thing. You can see I probably went a little bit out of control right here, but I went ahead and dragged that same shade, the apricot shade, in further right here. And again, I'm leaving the center of the eye bare. Next shade I want to go in with, I'm kind of in between using this shade right here, Sakura, I think that's how you pronounce it, or, ooh, I almost dropped the palette. This shade right here, I believe Classic, to deepen it up. I think I'm actually gonna go in with that more pinky tone, this one right here, Sakura. And for that, I think I'm gonna use this Real Technique base shadow brush, this guy right here, and I'm gonna pick up that shade on the brush right there. And I'm just gonna press it over the apricot shade just to deepen it up a little bit. We may or may not see the shade show up on its own, but I just wanna deepen that. And I'm not bringing it all the way up because I want that apricot shade to be like the transition, but just kind of in this outer area, not too much, and into the crease to deepen it. So you can see this one compared to this one, we're getting some more depth there. And I am pressing, I'm not swiping or swirling. I'm just pressing the color in. We're basically just layering shades, and I'm gonna do the same on this inner corner. I will say these shadows are blending beautifully over that base. I'm not seeing any patches or skipping or fallout really so far. Okay, we can see how this eye now has more depth compared to just the one shade on this eye. So let's go ahead and do the same. Same brush, same technique, not going crazy. You'll see I'm not taking it all the way up because, like I said, I want that apricot shade to be the transition shade. And now what I'm gonna do is I wanna deepen it just a little bit more. I'm trying to recreate that eyeshadow look. Maybe I'll put a picture somewhere here that Rose from Rose and Ben on Instagram did yesterday. So she went in with a black shade to deepen it even further. I don't think I want to go in with the black. I think I want to go in with either this shade right here, Moody, or just Bloom for You. Moody looks a bit more cool toned compared to Bloom for You. I'm afraid I'm gonna ruin this, but let's go in to Bloom for You. I'm actually gonna use that. I'm gonna use another Rose and Ben brush. This is the 27. You can see it's really small, and I'm gonna pick up just the tiniest bit on the tip of the brush. You probably can't even see that, and ever so lightly press it. Yeah, there we go. I could have used the black shade in this palette as well. It's called Deeper. Oh, that's funny. That reminds me of the movie The Aristocats from Disney. If you guys have seen it, do you guys remember the part where there's the geese that are sisters and their Uncle Bernard, and they're looking for something in a pond, and they go, Deepa! And they dive. That's what that shade name reminds me of. Okay, so I picked up just a little bit more, and I think I want to deepen it just a tad bit more. Again, I'm centering it. I'm concentrating it just in this area right here because I want the other shades that we use to serve as a transition. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that on this inner corner, which this brush is perfect for this because it's so because it's small and precise. And it's soft. I don't feel like it's stabbing me. Okay, let's do the other eye. All right, this is what we have so far. I am obsessing over this look right now. I'm gonna take the Real Technique brush with really nothing on it, nothing more on it, and just ever so lightly blend over these lines here so they're not as harsh. I really love the way that Bloom For You color gave us even more dimension and depth on this look. I'm glad I didn't go in with the brown. I have absolutely zero fallout, guys. Fallout also depends on your technique of applying your eyeshadow. So I am doing a lot more of the pressing and patting versus swiping back and forth, so that can contribute. But also, we're really not getting a lot of kick up in the pan. There is a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it in the Bloom For You shade. In the apricot, I did get a little bit, but not a lot. So for the center shade, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. We do have this more pinky toned shade right here, which I believe is called Sam. There is also this shade right here, Expose, and Laura, which is really pretty. So Icy is also really pretty, but I think I want to stay in kind of this zone. So let's see. Okay, so here we have the three shades. We have Laura, we have Sam, and we have Expose. I think I'm gonna go with Sam because it's the more pinky tone out of the three. Let me take the brush that we had the base on, and just with whatever is still on that brush, I'm just tapping it out. And I'm gonna take what I had on my finger and just press it in. Subtle but pretty, but I didn't pick up a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a bit more and really, oh, look at that, that's pretty. And because we're doing a halo, I did take it up pretty far. I'm actually gonna try and dip in there with a brush. This is a concealer brush from Beauty Creations. This guy right here. And I'm gonna dip into that same shade, Sam, and press and pull. Oh yeah, that's super pretty. And I'm going to take that initial brush that we used, the E28 from Rose and Ben, and go ahead and just with whatever's on it, kind of press over the edges of where we put that shimmer shade, that metallic shade, to blend it out so it doesn't look like a harsh line. And since I have my under eye done, let's go ahead and do the lower lash line. I'm going to dip into the shade Sakura, this one, which is the second shade that we use, and I'm going to use the E27 brush from Rose and Ben, and press that onto my lower lash line, just the outer corner and the inner corner, and then we're going to do a different color in the middle to kind of mimic the halo we have going on. Okay, and then I'm gonna dip just a smidge into the Bloom For You, which is the deepest color that we use, and press it as close as I can to my lash line, just on the outer corner. And then in the middle, still using that same brush, I'm gonna go into Sam, that shimmer, and press it right into the middle. Okay, so we kind of got the look almost done. I am gonna do my eyebrows, might do some eyeliner and a mascara, but before we get to that, let's go ahead and pick a shade out of the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism Blush Palette. As I mentioned before, I have my full face done. I have my base set. The only thing I have on right now is a little bit of bronzer, is a little bit of bronzer and contour. And so here we have the gorgeous blush palette. I think for this eye look, I think I'm gonna dip into these two shades to kind of match that apricot shade that we did. And so let's start off with the more pinky shade, which is right here, Pink Prince. And I'm gonna take it right here. And I didn't use any cream blush underneath. Today, I usually do a cream blush before I set my entire face just to help with the longevity of my blush. But because we're testing these out, I decided to just not, and we'll see how these perform. So let's go ahead. So that Pink Prince is coming off, oh, there it goes. Okay, I went ahead and put some more on the brush, and you can see, I think that matches the eye beautifully. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my God, super pigmented, but that's okay. That's actually my preference because I like to be able to build up my products, and that helps me avoid mistakes. This pink shade definitely has a cooler undertone. I wonder if you can tell on my skin tone. I am gonna go in and dip into the shade under it, this one right here, Beauty, to deepen it up a little bit. Yep, there we go. And I'm not one to go like super crazy with my blush, but I feel like sometimes on camera you kind of have to for you to be able to see it on camera. Overall, it looks really smooth. It hasn't disrupted anything else that I have on. It's blended beautifully. So this looks like a 10 out of 10 for me. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and then we will come back and talk about my final thoughts on the Nude Prism collection from Lunar Beauty. Back with the rest of my makeup done, and my hair's all crazy, so let's ignore that. Okay, I went ahead and added a brown wing liner, mascara, did my brows obviously, and added a lip. So overall, I am obsessed with this eye look that I created with the Nude Prism eyeshadow palette from Lunar Beauty. I really love the tones of this palette. We didn't use a whole lot of shades. We used 1, 2, 3, 4 shades we use, and then I did actually add the So Icy shade in my inner corner, so 5, 6 shades in total, but those 6 shades all perform to perfection, so I don't have any reservations with using the rest of the shades in the palette. This palette kind of sort of reminds me of the Dominique Cosmetics, I think it's the Transitions palette that she came out with a while back. I think it was last year, and I really did love kind of the aesthetic of that palette and how neutral and nude it was. However, her formula is not vegan, so I can't use it because of my carmine allergy. Lunar Beauty is vegan, yay, no carmine. So this collection actually has been the one of Lunar Beauty that has really pulled me in. I would say the only other palette of theirs that I was debating picking up for a while was the Solar Eclipse palette, I think. And I think it did have some similar tones. It also had some blue-y colors in it, but I ended up never picking it up. Total win on this palette right here. The Nude Prism Blush Palette. I think these shades are gorgeous. I like how you get kind of a light, medium, dark breakdown here. I think this would be a great palette if you are a makeup artist to put in your kit. I will be definitely taking this palette with me in my kit when I'm doing makeup for clients. It's very versatile and it'll help me use less space in my kit and for my kit to not be as heavy. And also, let's just take a minute here for the packaging. How stunning is the packaging? This kind of holographic raised moon, the gold which I'm assuming are going to be petals, like flower petals, and I think this is cherry blossoms. I'm not 100% sure. We've got the same concept on the eyeshadow. I love the look that I came up with. I loved how easy the shades were to work with. No fallout, even with that shimmer. I would say I have maybe a little bit scattering of that shimmer on the lower lash line, but we did put that sparkly shade on my lower lash line, so that could be from there. So if you were contemplating picking up this collection and you don't have similar shades in your makeup collection, or you just want it, then it is approved by me. I say go for it. I don't know if this is a limited edition collection. I sure hope not, because it seems to me like this would be a staple kind of color story or palette to have in a brand, but I'll have to double check on that. So not 100% sure. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining me in this demo first impressions try on video of the Lunar Beauty products. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have picked up these products and what your thoughts are on them. I hope you subscribe before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.